This morning, I'm quite excited to find out a little bit more about the racing pigeon culture in South Africa. So next to me, I have Fadil, a racing pigeon fancier. And here's what we're going to do. We are going to be releasing this pigeon carrying a secret message. And then we are going to race it all the way to its home in Athlone and see who is going to be a winner. So Fadil, this is very interesting. I can't wait to find out a little bit more about racing pigeons. But one thing I've always wanted to know, racing pigeons are unique in the way that they can find their way home from literally anywhere you release them from. How do they do that?
Ewan, it's been tested over and over throughout the world. What drives a pigeon has been suggested that it works with the magnetic field of the earth, etc. But God knows alone.
What is the pigeon racing culture like in South Africa, and what is your role in it?
I'm on the executive of SANPO, the South African National Pigeon Organization. I represent the NFPA, which is the fancy pigeon arm of SANPO. Racing pigeons in South Africa, you're looking at approximately close between 6,000 and 7,000 members.
And if someone would like to enter this racing pigeon culture, what do they need to know? What do they need to have?
Well, first of all, you've got to start off with a good, nice pigeon loft, okay? And then acquire good birds from the top fanciers in South Africa.
Okay, so I think the time has come. Let's release a pigeon and see who's going to be the winner. You ready?
Yeah, really, 100%.
Great. Secret message attached, and I'm going to count you down. 3, 2, 1. And release. And there she goes.
The pigeon had to fly high into the air to get some orientation by detecting the Earth's magnetic field using iron particles in its beak, which acts as a natural compass. This delay gave Ewan a bit of time to get to the elevator.
A quick fact about racing pigeons is that they can fly up to 60 kilometers an hour. So hopefully there's no traffic and I'll stand a chance.
Having found its orientation, the pigeon began heading toward the finish line, leaving Ewan far behind and already at a disadvantage with Cape Town traffic. Luckily for the pigeon, there was no traffic in sight.
So I've made my way out of the studio and on my way to Athlone. Now here's the thing, racing pigeons are known to travel distances of up to 1,200 kilometers. So I know that our little guy is not going to tire easily, so we need to hurry, staying within the speed limit, of course. Racing pigeons are so much more than just a hobby. They even made their way into the history books carrying wartime messages during World War I, which makes it absolutely imperative that we get there first.
The pigeon reached its destination in record time, but did Ewan get there before him?
David, is it here?
Yes, it's here.
Are you kidding me, man? I was so quick.
Yeah.
Can I come in?
Come inside.
Great stuff. Oh, man. How are you doing?
Okay.
Cool. I can't believe it. There it is. So, these things are fast. So how does it work when they arrive to the cage?
Okay, there's no real way of keeping track, but when they get released, they cross the pad and they've got the electronic ring, and as soon as they cross that pad, it picks up the ring, and that's how you know the bird has arrived.
And that has all the information regarding the gender, the age,
color, the ring number.
Well, I think it's about time to see what that secret message is. Let's get it. Here we go. Ooh. All right, it's off. Let's see. This is quite exciting. Let's have a read. You never stood a chance, Ewan, but well done for trying. Sincerely, the pigeon. Really? I never even stood a chance.
Crazy stuff, and bad luck to you and Shay, man. You lost against a bird. Well, we're talking pigeons this morning, racing pigeons and fancy pigeons. And I must say that there's a pigeon racing event at Sun City every year where the money awarded to the winner is close to $1 million. Now, I want to talk about this. I realized by having our experts in studio that flying and also working with pigeons is definitely no joke. Now, we've got Fadil Hendricks here, we've got Reggie Verster, and we've got Ashik Bray of the National Fancy Pigeon Association. Now, all three of you, if you are here, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good morning to you. Behind me, fancy pigeons.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Racing pigeon, fancy pigeon?
Well, racing pigeons, they race from point A to point B.
Right.
Right? Fancy pigeons is more of a catwalk. It's like a beauty competition.
Ah, so the ones behind me are the fancy pigeons.
They are the fancy
Van hulle
pigeons.
het maan, hare en
They go to the hairdresser and everything.
So they're groomed and they look beautiful. So how many breeds of pigeons are there?
In the world, Alana, you approximately registered breeds in the world, about 987 breeds of pigeons.
Wow.
Okay? Of that, we approximately have about 160, between 140 and 160 in South Africa, okay? And the rest is spread mostly over Europe and the Americas.
No, I'm totally overwhelmed, and it's so interesting to see this. I mean, I've got pigeons behind me. I've now learned that they're fancy pigeons, the ones that are taking part over the weekend, or in Sun City rather. They're racing pigeons. How does one get started? Let's talk about fancy pigeons first. Do you want to go? How do we get interested in breeding and getting involved with fancy pigeons?
Well, you've got to start from small, like our juniors.
Like Ashik here.
Yes. Once you've gone to a fancy pigeon show, you know, you immediately feel this is what I want to do.
Right.
And from there, we help the juniors along to get the breeds that they want. You cannot have every breed because then you have too many.
Yeah.
We suggest that you start with 4 breeds at a time,
Okay.
especially for our juniors. If you have too many, you cannot look after
them.
all of them.
Okay. Now, that's good advice. Ashik, you're the youngest member. Tell me about your association. Where do you belong to?
I belong to NFPA.
Okay. So is that the fancy pigeons or the racing pigeons?
It's a fancy pigeon.
Okay. So how many breeds do you have in your collection?
6 or so.
Okay.
6
And
or 5.
how do you take care of them?
You give them poles and you clean the water and
Okay.
you clean out the loft and feed them
And how long have you been doing this?
for a year.
For a year. And are you enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it.
It's
very
fun,
much.
hey? Are they pretty? They're gorgeous, eh? Look at him. Ashik's all shy. How do I get involved into racing pigeons?
Racing pigeon, Alana, is another process, okay? It's always recommended that you try to start off with the best, get involved with the best fanciers, acquire from the best birds.
Right.
Okay, it's good to start off well. Then your races will be amongst the more elite of the fancy in South Africa. Okay,
Okay.
you perform better, but then it comes down to various other things as well. Okay, good pigeon husbandry, maintaining a healthy pigeon, which is very, very important. In many cases, I would say that with racing pigeons, we tend to find that the competition is great throughout the world, and in South Africa, it's even as great as that.
Well,
you know?
that's good news for me, that it's good in South Africa, it's great in South Africa, racing pigeons and fancy pigeons, and then our young ones also taking part. So, Ashik, all the best to you, and also all the best to your sport and something that you are nurturing in South Africa. Now, the annual racing pigeons race that takes part every year at Sun City, close to R1 million or $1 million that one can win, and it sounds amazing. Just an interesting fact, the most South African has paid for a fancy pigeon is close to 800,000 Rand. So this is definitely a serious sport. Thank you guys for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, from our fancy and our racing pigeons to an animal of a different kind, Ewan's got dogs for us.